you don't believe it's possible, you won't act like it is, okay? It's probably what's keeping you struggling, all right? What's up, guys? I'm in Spain right now. There's an old head behind me. And basically in this video, I just want to explain why beliefs are actually so important and how they form and how you can change them. I think a lot of people online are telling you, oh, you gotta have a strong mindset and all this stuff. But what does that actually mean? Right, so I just want to explain it briefly. It'd probably take me like 10 minutes. Hopefully you can stick through it and not get monkey brain. But yeah, let's jump into it. All right, so let's jump into it. So this is actually kind of like a trick that I was able to understand early on. I'm not claiming it's my original idea, but it allowed me to get this cool, Rolex 15K. I'm in Spain right now, traveling
Nice shot,
around,
bro.
hanging with my friends, hanging with my boys. We're just closing, making money, and yeah, it's a pretty nice lifestyle. But I'm not saying this to flex. I'm just saying it because you can too. You can do it too. I'm not any different from anybody out there. But let's get into it. So why are beliefs so important? Because you have beliefs around everything. All right. So everything that you do, every decision you make it because you have a belief around something, right? Everyone says you need to have good beliefs or a good mindset. But why do you actually need it? And how can you achieve a good mindset in a practical way? Right? It's pretty simple. I'm going to explain it a little deeper on in a bit. But at a basic level, if you don't believe that you can achieve something, then you're not even going to try. Or if you do try, it won't be with your full effort. Just think about it. If you don't think you're going to be able to book meetings, you won't even try. If you don't think you can scale to 10K a month, you won't even try, right? If you don't think you can close a sales call, you won't even try, right? There's just so many little things that if you don't think you can actually do it, you're not actually going to be able to do it, right? That's something I'm struggling with right now is like zoning in my service delivery for my clients, helping them convert the leads, right? I'm having a hard time believing that they can convert the leads properly without my help. But it's just something that I have to switch, and something that as time goes on, I'm going to grow past. All right. But where do these beliefs actually come from? Most of the time, it's a lack of confidence in yourself that you can actually achieve these things because you don't have no proof of concept. A lot of the people watching this video have not achieved anything or proven anything to themselves, right? I'm just going to explain this at like a very basic level for myself. All right, I'll use myself as an example, right? I've been able to supply my clients very, very good leads and all this stuff, but I haven't been able to help them convert the leads very well, right? So there's no proof of concept for that. So therefore, I'm lacking confidence in myself that I'm going to be able to help them do it, right? I know that I'm going to be able to figure it out eventually, but at the current moment, it's something I'm struggling with, right? But a lot of you guys, if you've never booked a meeting or done a cold call or said anything or closed a call, you have no proof of concept because you haven't achieved it, right? So you haven't proven to yourself that you can do it. If you can do it once, you can do it again, right? But a lot of you guys haven't proven anything to yourself, right? Or you've just grown up a loser, right? There's some people who are watching this video who are like that, right? There's just nothing in your life that you've ever achieved that makes you think, oh, I can achieve 10K a month. Oh, I can achieve this, right? So you have to prove it to yourself first. All right. Let me explain a little bit about how beliefs work. All right. So you have beliefs around everything. Okay? And this is kind of like a visual representation of what you can kind of like how you can see how beliefs work. So this is pretty much what it looks like for everything in your life, right? It's a guy sitting on a scale, and the scale is when you have no belief around something, it's just a flat, even scale, right? One side of the scale, there's a bucket that's green. One side of the scale, there's a bucket that's red, right? And then you're in the middle, right? For example, I'll use the belief of let's say Hitler, right? This is pretty extreme, but regardless, if you believe Hitler's bad, your red bucket's going to be more tilted down, right? Because beliefs are formed with experiences around things, right? So growing up, you're in school, you're in history class, your teachers, you have classmates, all this stuff, right? They're telling you, oh, Hitler did all these terrible, terrible things, and I'm not. All right, he did. All right, I'm not saying he didn't. All right, but regardless, you grow up constantly hearing over and over and over and over again, um, Hitler's bad, like all this stuff. So every time an event like that happens, and it's an experience, okay, and a negative experience towards something will have a negative drop into your red bucket around your belief of that thing, if that makes sense, okay. But it's the same thing with the green bucket. So if you have a positive experience around something, your green bucket will be filled by one drop. So say somebody you met gave a really good argument of why Hitler is actually a good guy, right? Okay, then maybe you think, oh wait, hold on, like, I actually believe that, and then that your green bucket will get filled with one drop, all right? But it basically just kind of, you know, evens itself out with how many experience you have around a certain type of thing. Okay. All right. So let me explain how beliefs are formed. I'll give you an example of a good-looking kid named John. When John was young, his two older siblings and his parents made fun of him, and he was a running joke in the family, and everybody called him ugly. All right. So poor John, he's getting called ugly, and he's just getting made fun of by his family members. So naturally, John believed he was actually ugly because growing up, his red bucket was being filled, because he was being called ugly every day. Just, oh, what's up, John? You're a little ogre. You look like Shrek, right? Just getting made fun of because you think the people think he's ugly, but he's not actually ugly. Just people are telling him he's ugly, so he's gonna think he's ugly, right? His red bucket is being filled because of all those experiences. So every time somebody calls him ugly or they make fun of him or something like that, that red bucket is being filled with by one drop. So it's way, way, way more heavier than the green bucket. Okay. And now, right, there's always an effect, right? So now John's 20, and he's trying to get girls, but doesn't even try because he truly believes he's ugly since it was reinforced his whole life, right? So the negative bucket has been filled so much that his belief around that is so heavy and so strong that he's like, oh well, I'm ugly. There's not even a point in getting girls because they're not even gonna like me because they're gonna think I'm ugly, right? So that's the same thing about your clients. If you have no, say, strong belief that you can get them a lot of leads or something like that, that's going to show off. That's going to show off energy, and you're gonna be like, oh, well, I don't really care about it as much. I'm not gonna bring it up on my sales call, and then you're not gonna be able to close a sale. Or if you don't think you're gonna be able to close somebody on a sales call, and you're on a sales call, and your belief that you're bad at sales is like so strong, you're not really gonna try very hard because you're like, oh, I can't close this deal anyway. Okay, so it's like, all right, well, then there's no point in trying. And yeah, and right, you can apply this to anything. If your parents kept telling you, "Oh, we can't buy this thing because money's hard to come by," right? You obviously think your parents are the end all be all, and when you're younger, and listen and believe every word that they say. And hearing those phrases over and over when growing up, it becomes a very strong belief. And now, when you're trying to start a business, right, your parents told you money's hard to come by. You're trying to make money online. You're gonna think that that belief is so strong in your mind, like, oh, money's hard to come by. Like it's way harder to sign clients. Well, it's money's hard to come by. Like maybe I'm not even gonna become an entrepreneur because it's hard to make money by myself, right? Money's hard to come by. You're acting scarce. Right. And how can we reverse this and flip the opposite bucket to have good beliefs or correct beliefs, right? Whatever correct means for you, around something. All right. So there's three things: say it, see it, feel it. Right. So I'm just gonna explain to you guys what I personally did to change my beliefs and what I'm still doing today to change my beliefs, and the other entrepreneurs that I know that are changing their beliefs. Um, and it comes down to these three things, right? So you can practice this, right? I'm just going to give you guys a basic kind of something that you guys can do to actually help you and change your beliefs, right? This might not work for you guys. Just try it out. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? I'm not saying it's going to be instant results. You're going to be able to do it in the instant results, right? It's kind of like working out, and building a muscle. It's something that you have to do every single day, and it'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then your green bucket or whatever correct bucket you want to be filled is going to have a positive experience over and over and over and over and over again, right? Say if you're doing it twice a day, it's going to have a good experience in the morning and a good experience at night, over and over and over again. And then that eventually will make your green bucket heavier than your red bucket, right? So affirmations, right? So um, these three things need to be combined, right? You can't just do affirmations alone. You can't just visualize alone. You can't just feel the emotion behind things alone. You have to do it all at the same time, right? So you have to say something, and then you have to see it in your mind, and then you have to feel the emotion behind it. Okay, so right, let's put this into an example. So close your eyes, and say, you know, I'm walking around in a park right now and it's beautiful. All right. So just visualize yourself walking around in a park and this beautiful scenery around everything. And then feel like the emotion that's involved. Right. Just like smile a little bit. Be like, oh, this is really nice. Right. Like I'm walking around in a park right now. This is a good experience. Like I'm having a good time. Right. You can do that same thing with anything in business. Right. All right. Now you can open your eyes. Right. You can open your eyes. But you can do that with anything, right? So sales calls. So just say you think you're really bad at sales, right? Or you're just starting out in sales. Regardless, no matter what, you have to believe that you're good at sales. Okay, so just say like I'm super good at sales and I close every prospect on every call, right? And you can just close your eyes and visualize yourself actually closing a client and then feeling that emotion behind it, right? Like feeling happy behind it. You have to have actually, if you want to have a positive emotion or positive belief around anything, you have to smile and have, a positive emotion behind it for it to actually happen. All right. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, just comment them below or DM me on Instagram. And if you're interested in working with me, personally, one-on-one for free. Yep, for free. Click that link in the description or DM me on Instagram. And you can get a chance to win this free Rolex. And again, coaching for free. But yeah, peace.